It does exist. We give you a signal.
Okay. What was the signal? We're waiting for it. Okay. Well. That's interesting.
Most of the programs are not planned for. Lack of proper planning.
I know.
Lack of proper planning.
So, Ibrahim, when you were in Ghana, how were you introduced to Islam? Did you know about Islam before you were before you became Muslim?
I would say, I cannot say I knew Islam, but I would say I've seen Muslims. I saw Muslims in my days as a Christian evangelist. Yeah, but I cannot say I really know Islam. But at that time, I thought I knew Islam. That is how I felt. So that made me have a lot of hatred for Islam and Muslims.
Any aspect about Islam that you hated, or just it's in general?
Islam in general.
Really?
I said religion. I hated it because I thought I knew Islam.
Right, okay.
Why am I saying this? I didn't know Islam, but I thought I know Islam because we were given a lot of information about Islam, which was not true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who gave you this information?
Very beautiful. You know, as a Christian, we're made to see Islam in a negative way. So the church in which we are attending, and this problem is still existing.
Right.
Every Christian have a very negative thought about Islam. Every Christian.
So in the church they talk about Islam?
And yeah, in the church they talk about Islam, but negatively. So a lot of misconceptions was created about Islam. And the information given to us by our church on Islam, we took it, and that was how we saw Islam to be. So we were thinking we have known Islam. Islam is not a religion. The Prophet Muhammad wasn't a prophet. We were made to believe that he was an imposter.
But who started these rumors? Just people within the various churches? And
that is for the whole Christendom, all the Christian sects. So based on the information, wrong information given to you as a church member, you also take that information, spread that rumors or misconception about Islam. You are made to feel that is the teaching of Islam. For instance, in Ghana, for instance, we're made to understand or believe that Muslims don't believe in Jesus. Muslims don't believe in the existence of God, because yes, Allah is not the true God. We're made to believe that pilgrimage to Mecca is the Muslims travel to Mecca to come and worship an idol god.
Everything you've said is the complete opposite.
Complete opposite
of Islam.
And that is the knowledge about Islam that Christians are having.
Really?
So with this, get this knowledge, you are made to feel that now you have been given much information about Islam. So you go outside there and also propagate the same message about Islam, against Islam.
So people are actually making the effort to go out and talk what they think is the truth.
That is it.
But people are actually going spreading negative stuff about
Islam. Yes. So with this information, you might think you know Islam. So I felt that I really know Islam. And I knew I can say much about Islam because I have been given much information about it. Not knowing, though much information has been given to me about Islam, but they were all false information. That is why I say I cannot say before then I knew Islam. You see, I heard of Islam, but on the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Not until I became a Muslim. Then I got to know that really we were not told the truth about Islam. For instance, every Christian knows that Muslims don't believe in Jesus. And that is what I also believed in. But when I became a Muslim, then I got to know that the correct Jesus, for you to know much about Jesus, it is rather the Quran that will give you correct information about Jesus.
Of course.
The true picture, the true description of Jesus, you will get it nowhere unless Quran. So I was shocked. For instance, when I got to know that a whole chapter in the Quran is devoted for Jesus and the mother, to the extent that that chapter was named after Jesus' mother, I was shocked. Surah to Maryam, Quran chapter 19.
Sure.
And the miraculous way in which Jesus was born, as described by Quran, my brother, there is no book on this earth that has given that description. So I said to myself, oh, all this information about Jesus is in Quran. Yet in our various churches, we were made to believe that Muslims have no knowledge about Islam, about Jesus. And therefore Muslims don't like Jesus.
So when you were told the false information about Islam, did you actually approach Muslims to preach Christianity to them, or did you just propagate, or did you speak about slander Islam to Christians?
In fact, we always attempt to convince Muslims to accept Christianity.
So you did, yeah?
Yeah, that is what we were doing. We always approach Muslims and convince them to accept Christianity. And unfortunately, the weak ones, those Muslims who did not, who was failed, at least to learn fundamental teachings of their religion, sometimes it becomes possible for them to be converted. Yeah. So it was not until I became a Muslim, then I got to know that those Muslims were Muslims who have failed to make research about their own religion. Because by the time, in those days that we were approaching them, they should have rather convinced us from Christianity to Islam.
Yeah.
Because they should have rather made us to know that for a Christian to know Jesus very well, unless you become a Muslim. But you know, in Africa, but I want to believe that maybe this problem exists almost every part of the world. But in Africa, there are Muslims who are practicing their religion by praying 5 times a day. When it is Ramadan, they will fast, but they have no knowledge about their religion.
I see. So just the practical aspect.
Just the practical, because most of them, they grew up to see their parents praying 5 times a day. During the Ramadan time, they fast, so they also fast. So it's a clear indication that every Muslim must have some knowledge in the religion. Because as I was preaching against Islam and propagating Christianity.
How long did you do this? How long did you preach against Islam?
Oh, I would say because I became a Muslim about, let's say about 12 to 13 years now. And I'm almost 50 years. Come February, I'll be my 50.
Sure.
So let's say more than 35 years
preaching against
Islam, condemning Islam, saying all sorts of negative words against Islam and against the noble Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
And what was the turning point where you? Because for so long you're slandering Islam, and then suddenly something happened. So what happened? What changed to make you see Islam as the truth?
Yeah, you know, there is a verse in Quran that whoever Allah loves, He opens your heart to Islam. And I would say that that verse has really manifested as far as my life is concerned. Because If I say I was a Christian, one might think that, he was only going to church, he was only a church attendance. But actually, I want the viewers to understand that I wasn't just an ordinary Christian or a churchgoer. I really went deep into Christianity because I was an international evangelist.
So you traveled around?
Along the length and breadth of Ghana, part of Africa countries, for instance, Kenya and Tanzania, to propagate Christianity. I belong to a Christian sect called Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I rise to a rank which is called Special Pioneer. And in Jehovah's Witnesses, we have the ranks. We have the members who have been, the baptized members are called publishers. And then from there, before you go to a rank called Auxiliary Pioneer. From Auxiliary Pioneer, you go to Regular Pioneer. Then for Regular Pioneer, you go to Ministerial Servant. From Ministerial Servant to Elder, then to Special Pioneer. And I was Special Pioneer.
So you made it all the way to the top?
Yes.
Wow.
So the Special Pioneer, the responsibility is you are taken to places where the church has no branches there.
Okay.
You go and preach, convert people, you create a branch there, then you are taken to another place. So having reached that rank, one cannot take me for granted. I wasn't just a church goer. And all along, I was preaching against Islam.
Just Islam?
Just preaching. And you see, one thing about Jehovah's Witnesses is that we don't like Islam. And within the Christian churches, we feel that we were the only best religion. So we were preaching against all the sects, Christian sects.
As well?
As well.
Okay.
Yes. But most especially Islam.
So it was like the major
Yeah,
competitor?
that was the major, yes.
Yeah.
And a lot was said about Islam. As to how I was fortunate to be a Muslim, as you said, I happened to, there used to be a program in Ghana, television, the national television, and the title of the program was Akida. Yes. Actually, I hated that program and never attempted to watch the program.
Subhanallah.
One evening, during the program highlight, I got to know that the topic for that day, Akida, was going to be religious tolerance. I didn't know what happened to me. I decided to wait and watch that program.
Oh, wow, sure.
I didn't know. I've never watched it for so many years. So really, that evening, I sat behind my television set and they started the program. I was very surprised about some of the certain teachings of Islam that was explained in the course of the program. And especially the explanation of the Kalimatu Shahada. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It was explained. Then I said, no, we have not been told the truth about Islam. I told myself,
so you could see the difference,
because we were made, as Christians today, at now, every Christian believes that Muslims worship Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we don't believe in God.
I see.
As at now, every Christian believes that, unless of course a Christian who has taken it upon himself to make some personal research about Islam.
Yeah.
But generally, that is the belief of Christians as far as Islam is concerned. But when I was explaining the Kalimatu Shahada, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, meaning there is no God to be worshipped except Allah, God who created the universe. And Muhammad is a messenger of Allah. I got shocked. That was my first time to know that Muslims take Muhammad as a messenger of God, but not God. Oh, so I told myself, so to Muslims, Muhammad was just a messenger, but not God. But this is the case we have been told that they are worshipping Muhammad. I said, no, we have not been told the truth. From there, I decided to make some personal research about Islam.
Sure.
And fortunate for me, I happened to get a cassette, a preaching cassette, made by an Islamic preaching group in Ghana. The group is called Islamic Research and Propagation Center. So I decided to buy the cassette. It was a cassette from not CD, but I bought the cassette and listened to the preaching. Having listened to the preaching, I told my wife, I am no more a Christian.
Wow. Allahu Akbar.
And you know, in Christianity, if you are evangelist, your wife is also evangelist.
Okay.
So this is the lady I've gone around preaching Christianity, condemning Islam. We've been doing the work together. So for all of a sudden, to call her and tell her that you are no more a Christian, actually she didn't take me serious.
Of course, I mean,
Yes,
if you
yeah,
reach such a level.
Yeah, no, she was not expecting that. For what reason?
Exactly.
But I told her, meanwhile, I have not mentioned the kalima, I have not accepted the kalima.
Okay.
But I just
Knew that Christianity was
I just decided not to be. So that week, on Tuesday of that week, I was supposed to go to Kingdom Hall. You know, Jehovah's Witnesses, our meeting place, we don't call it church. We call it Kingdom Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Jehovah's Witnesses. Everything of Jehovah's Witnesses differ from. The terminologies are different from the other Christian states. Yes. So I was supposed to go to Kingdom Hall, which I would say the church, to go and preach. And we don't use the word preach, to go and give sermon.
Okay.
Yes. So on Tuesday, the sermon was going to be 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. My wife got prepared. And
So did she do the sermons with you?
she was going to
Just
be an audience, a member of the audience. I was going to give the sermon. She got prepared and asked me, brother, let's go. I said, oh, Martha. She was called Martha. I've told you I am now a Muslim. I won't go to Kingdom Hall any longer. She wasn't serious. So she took her bag and off, hoping that I would follow her. She knew I would by all means follow her. She went. The congregation was waiting for Brother Daniel. My name was called Brother Daniel. Brother Daniel Bedu. Alhamdulillah, now I am Ibrahim Bedu. I'm so proud of my name.
It suits you as well, mashallah.
Yes.
It's a good name for you.
Yes. So they were waiting for Brother Daniel to come, Brother Daniel to come, Brother Daniel to come. I did not show up. So at the closing, they asked my wife, what is happening? But my wife could not tell them what I have told her.
Of course.
Yeah. So she just gave an excuse and she came back home. In fact, we had a very long quarrel for not going to the Kingdom Hall. The next day, that was Saturday, I'm supposed to go to Kingdom Hall.
Again?
I didn't go. I go. Again, I didn't go. Then my wife told them that they really need to visit me because this is what I have told her.
Okay.
So on Monday, 2 elders from the church paid me a visit and asked me why I did not show up the previous 2 sessions. And I told them that I guess my wife have told them everything. They say no. They say, oh, then she should have told you people. Yes, because she knows why I didn't come.
Okay.
Yeah, but if she has not told you, no problem. It's good that you've come. Sometimes it's good to listen from the horse's own mouth.
Exactly.
So the simple message is that I'm no more a member of Jehovah's Witnesses. Now I'm a Muslim. That is the simple reason that you didn't see me. And you are not going to see me again forever. It was just like a blow to them.
Allah. Oh,
They didn't believe me.
I'm sure.
My brother Asad, then I have still not mentioned the kalima.
But just in your heart,
But
you
in
knew
my heart,
you were a Muslim.
yes, I know I'm a Muslim. Actually, I did not know how the process to follow to become
Okay.
an official Muslim. So I have accepted this. I have accepted the religion in my heart. So on Tuesday, I had an old man who was my friend, a Muslim. He was the only Muslim.
The only Muslim friend you had?
Yes, I had. And he became my friend as a result of condemning Islam, condemning him because he was a Muslim. Anytime I meet him, he was called Imam Qasim. Incidentally, he was Imam, and I didn't know that he was an Imam.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, so I was condemning Islam, and one day he approached me and said, oh, I should have patience and take time in condemning Islam because he hopes one day I will be a Muslim. I told him, God forbid. And the way I spoke ill, negative against Islam, and this old man did not got annoyed. He wasn't offended. I was shocked.
MashaAllah.
So whenever I'm passing by, I used to pass there to say whatever I like to him, and they say, oh, brother Daniel, don't worry, you'll be a Muslim. Lo and behold, when I felt that I want to be a Muslim, I haven't told my wife. For about 3-4 days, I decided that no, I'm calling myself Muslim, but at least I should know officially what are the process for me. And in Christianity, you have to be registered.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, you have to be registered. There is a register. Every church has a register. You have to be registered so that you will be given an ID card, identification card. So I asked myself, where is my identification card? I'm calling myself a Muslim, yet I don't have any ID card. So why don't I approach this same Imam Qasim so that if he can assist me to get the membership card? So I went to him one morning and said, Father, I have come today. I want to be a Muslim.
MashaAllah.
He was not sure of what I was saying. He didn't believe me. Then he told me, oh, you don't worry. I've told you, you will must be a Muslim one day. I said, today I want to be a Muslim. He was also saying that, oh, you will must be a Muslim one day, because he wasn't sure of what I was saying.
Yeah.
Then I told him, Father, one day that you are saying that this is today, that one day is today. I'm serious. I want to be a Muslim. He asked me, do you mean it? I said, I mean it. I said, look, for the past 1 week, last Tuesday and last Saturday, I didn't go to Kingdom Hall. I don't go to church. And I have told my people that I am now a Muslim. Meanwhile, I don't have a membership card. So I've come to you, help me, officiate me into Islam so that I'll get a membership card. The man was more than happy. He was surprised, but he was more than happy.
I mean, goosebumps just thinking about it. MashaAllah.
Then he told me, Mr. Daniel, in Islam, we don't register. You see, those churches, because it belongs to human beings, human beings form those churches. And those founders of those churches, they are the owners of the churches. Therefore, the owners have to register you.
Okay.
But Islam belongs to God. And therefore, no human being has a right to register somebody. It is God who registers his members.
And how did you find that? Did you think it was
In
strange?
fact, the explanation was more than wonderful to me. He said, nobody is going to register you. This religion you want to practice now belongs to Allah. And it is Allah who registers the members. So I asked him, so what will I do for Allah to register me? He said, you have to utter 2 words. Sincerely from your heart. And as soon as you utter the word, Allah has registered you in his register. So I said, what is the word? Then he said, no, look, even since from the time you decided from your heart. That was the time Allah registered your name in the register. So now you are going to say those words symbolically. So he asked me, he said he will be saying the word, I should repeat after him. Then I said he should go ahead. He said, I can stand anyhow to say it, but it is preferable to make this sign indicating that I'm now believing in the oneness of God. So I made like this. He said I should say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Then I repeated, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Then he said, Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I said, Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Then he explained these words to my local dialect language. That Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, I said, means that from that day onwards, I'm not going to worship any being except God who created the heaven and earth. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah means I have, beside believing in the oneness of God, the creator of heaven and earth, I have also from that day believed and accepted that that man called Muhammad was a messenger of God. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I said, wow. This is the same message I heard from the Aqidah program.
Yeah.
I said, now, then you are a Muslim now. I said, oh, is that so? He said, yes. But what is left for me is to practice it sincerely. What is left for me is to learn much about Islam, so that I will be able to practice it as prescribed by Allah and as practiced by His Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is what is left for me. So now I have a school to attend. That is by learning much about Islam.
And there was a school in the area, or there was someone in the area?
He gave me to somebody to help me. He gave me to say. So I asked him, okay, now, he said, by saying this word, Allah has registered me. What about my ID card?
You still want the card?
Yeah, I still need the ID card. What about my membership card? Then this man relaxed and told me, before then he asked me, what name would I like to use? My name Daniel is accepted. As a Muslim, I can still use the name Daniel. So would I like to go by my name? I said, no. I have changed. And I want everybody to know that now there is a change in my life. So I need a change of name.
Good, mashallah, yeah.
So then he asked me to choose any Islamic name that suits me. He started mentioning names, and when he mentioned Ibrahim, I said, I like Ibrahim. It's the same as Abraham, the father of all nations. So I chose Ibrahim. Then he said, Ibrahim, the ID card, you have already gotten the ID card. I said, I don't have. He said, in Islam, you are recognized by your faith and how you practice the religion, but not on a printed ID card. Those people who were given the printed ID card, it was human being who gave it to them. Means they are owned by those human beings. He said, in Islam, our ID card is a divine ID card. He said, you relax. Practice the religion as said by Allah and as practiced by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And wherever you go, you will be recognized as a Muslim. So that is all. I said, that is all. I said, yes. He said, that is all. And my brother, I have tasted it. I have witnessed it. Wherever I go, Salaam alaikum, and I'm recognized. What a divine identification card. So this is the case. I'm proud to be part of a religion that uses a divine identification card, not a printed ID card. He gave me to a gentleman who also helped me to learn the recitation of the Surah Al-Fatiha and other things. Then he gave me certain books that talks much about Islamic teachings. Tawheed, the oneness of Allah. And then how to perform prayers. And alhamdulillah, I'm so proud. But the problem is, I left my wife at home,
I was going to ask this, yeah.
beautiful, and came and took the kalima. In my community where I lived, there were only few Muslims, about 6 in that community.
And you knew them?
Yeah, in that community. There were a lot of Muslims there, but the community, that vicinity that I lived, there were just about 6. A man, the husband, a man, the wife, and the children. And they knew the way I treat them. So
you mean before you became?
Before I became a Muslim, they knew how I hated them.
Mm-hmm.
So after mentioning the kalima, I was finding it difficult to go back to my community.
Of course.
Yes. So I stayed with this man, and we prayed the Zohar prayers. We prayed the Asr, Maghrib, and Isha. Now the day was almost over. I have to go back to my house.
Of course.
That was where I started entertaining fear. Anyway, I went. So what I did was I bought, let's say, I will call it a bowl, a cup. Yes. Which I was going to use it for performing ablution. So I went home, and at dawn, I heard the call for praise, the azan.
You hear it there as well, yeah?
Yes, yes, I heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Those 6 people, they always pray, they make azan. So I heard azan. And I knew it was time for me to go and join them to pray.
And they never knew, they didn't...
They never know that I have accepted Islam. So I just fetched water with the cup that I bought, performed the ablution. I didn't know, I wasn't good in the process. So I performed the ablution anyhow.
Oh, you could, yeah.
Yes. And finished performing the ablution, it was left for me to go and join them.
Mm-hmm.
They knew I hate them. I knew I have been hatred. I hate them. So it wasn't easy for me to go and join them. My question to myself was, will they even accept me?
Of course.
Looking at the way I've been insulted, Islam, I've been insulted the Prophet, I always condemn them. How would they receive me? So with this battle in my head, I couldn't muster the courage to join them. So what I did was, I decided to pray in my room. And I remember when I took the kalima of the Imam Qasim, we went to the mosque and we prayed. I remember the prayer started with a big Allahu Akbar, and then we started going down, come up and down, bowing down. So I remember the process. So I decided to do it in my room, and I didn't know ruku, sujud. I did all that I remember was that we were just going up and down. So my wife was in the room when she heard me shout Allahu Akbar, like the takbir to Iraq. She woke up and was looking at me. I was going up and down. Okay, I was going up and I was going up and down. So I got tired and just said Salaam Alaikum, because I remember that the prayers ended Salaam Alaikum. My brother, that was what the problem started coming.
From your wife, you mean?
From my wife. She went straight to inform the father, and the father came to give me 2 options. Either I came back to Jehovah's Witnesses and still marry the daughter, or be a Muslim and he takes my wife away.
So they wouldn't let you stay married?
No. So that very day, my father-in-law, that is my wife's father.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant the father of the church. No,
yes.
Okay. So your wife's father?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, okay.
So my father-in-law took the daughter away. She took my wife away. Less than 15 minutes.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. By Allah, whose house the devoted pilgrims visit, responding to Abraham's call at the chosen time limit.